Hi. So let's start solving today's problem, coin change. And in this problem, we have been given some coins and a sum. And all we have to do is to find the number of ways such that we can make sum by different combination of these coins. So for example, this is the sum and which is 4. And all we have to do is to express this sum in the combination of these coins, 1, 2, and 3. So one possible way is we can add 1 4 times, or else we can add 1 2 times and add a 2. We can also add 2 2 times, and we can add 1 and 3 in order to get the sum 4. So if you look at the topic tags, you'll get to see it is a standard DP question of take or not take. So what do I mean by that? Let me explain it through the Jamboard. So at every stage, we can have the choice, suppose at 4, and this is my sum. All right, this is my sum, and the coins array we have been given is 1 2 and 3. Okay, so we will initially stand at this 3. All right, and we check, can we make any combination with this 3 in order to get a sum of 4? So we can take this 3. Okay, so when we take this 3 coin, we are left with sum 1, because 4 minus 3 is 1, right? Now, with this 1, what are the possible combination can we make? It is nothing but this one. We can add this 1 to our 3 in order to get the sum 4. So I can write it as 4 comma 0. The other choice I have is to not take 3 but to take this 2. So once I take this 2, I have the remaining sum as 2. Okay. And again, when I take this 2, I'll have 4, and my sum is now 0. Okay. Another possible way I have is to take, so let me write here, these are the elements. So another choice I have is to take this 1. Okay, ignoring this 2 and 3, I take 1 coin. So I have my coin 1, and the remaining sum is 3. Now again I have two choices. Either I can take 3. So in that case, my sum would be 3 minus 3 is 0, and it will become 0. Okay. The other choice I have is to consider this 2. So in that case, my sum would be 3 comma 1. And the last choice I will have is to take this 1. So I think you get the idea what we are doing here. At every stage, we are considering the choice whether to take the coin from this array or not. Okay. Now let's discuss the base case. All right. So for the base case, if my index, so this is, suppose this is the array 1, 2, and 3. So if my index becomes 0, okay. So for example, index for any base case of recursion in an array or string, you can mostly the base cases are like this. Either the index becomes 0 or our index reaches the string length. So here it is, since we are starting from the end, if our index becomes 0, so if this is equal to 0, we can simply return, if we can So suppose my target value was 4, and can we pick can I pick this 1? So I'll return that. So I will explain it once again. I will I will check if 4 modulo index at 0 is 1 is equal to 0. If it is so, since my index is 0, and I can means I can pick this 4 4 times 1, right? Okay, that's one way. Or the other way is, if my index element means the very first element, my index has become 0. Okay, so if it would have been the case that the very first element was 3, then there is no possibility that I would have been able to pick this 3 and would be get away of a sum with 4. I mean, how can you make this by picking up this 3 and make this sum 4? There is simply no possibility, since we require a one coin in order to get the desired result, but we don't have it. Okay, so in that case, we simply return false, which means we cannot pick. Okay, so that was the base case. Now let's look at the brute force recursion code. So if my index becomes 0, I'll simply return target value. Target value is nothing but your sum. So this solve is a helper function, as we do in the DP, brute force recursion. We simply create a recursive function, and we use it to solve the problem. So I have passed the coins array, the size, okay, and the sum. Now, if our index reaches 0, we simply check if my target value modulo the element present at index is 0. If it is so, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false, which means we cannot. If false, that means that uh, we cannot pick the coin. Okay. Now we have two choices: not take and take. So for not take, if we don't consider to take the coin, we can simply skip it. Then how do we skip it? We simply jump. We simply skip that index, and our coin at target remains the same. We initialize this take variable as 0, okay, initially, and we can only pick the coin if our target value, which is nothing but the sum value, is greater than or equals to coin at that particular index. Suppose if it were our index value was 5 and our sum was were 0, how can you pick up 5 coin of value 5 to make it a sum of 4? There is simply no way. So this is the if condition, and if this is true, then we simply take the coin. And remember here that we don't need to move to the next index because there are infinite supply of coins. So we can get as many coins as possible. And we simply decrease the target value, since we are picking a coin, which will decrease the value of our sum. And while returning, we will return take plus not take, because the total number of ways you can make your sum 4 is nothing but the sum of all these. All right. So if you submit it, I can show you this won't work. This will only pass 10 test cases, and it will show you TLE. Now let's look at the brute force recursion code. So this is it. We have used a 2 cross 2 vector, and the number of changing parameters in this problem are the sum and our index. All right. So that's why 2 dimension. And we are checking if the answer already exists at our 2D array. If it is so, then we simply return. Otherwise, we will compute it, and before returning, we simply save it in that particular index. All right. So if you submit it, this will surely get accepted. So yeah, that's what it. That was it. See you in the next one.